I'm going to get in the best shape of my entire life. And it doesn't matter what I'm doing now. It mattered on what I did during the lockdown for the last 9 months. If your metabolism is not functioning well, you're not going to be able to change. And today is all about what can happen right now.
Exactly.
I want to get in shape right now. Just checking that hardness. We're coming in. We're end of the second week. All right, guys, here we go. Good evening. I hope you guys are doing great. We just finished up some podcasts here, and I am actually looking at some Icon chips. I'm looking at some Piedmontese beef jerky right here, and obviously the beef sticks. Woo-wee! I'm hungry for Sunday. But I want to jump on with you guys and just see how you guys are doing. We are going to go into the new year getting in shape. We're not going to do this stuff about waiting until after New Year's. And we just talked about this in the podcast that we did. I'm not impressed by the guy that goes, I'm getting ready for a show. I'm going to start dieting for 12 weeks. I'm impressed at the guy that does the 9 months before that, getting ready to set himself up. That way, when he does the prep for the show, he gets in great shape. But it's the setup. Everybody seems to miss. Why do you come here? Serge, come here. I'm going to ask Serge. Maybe he can give me a good insight on this. Serge,
What's up?
why do people not worry about the setup relative to just the show? Can you tell me why that is?
Well, let me see. I'm gonna give you a perspective here.
Please.
So, what I think goes on is that people are so focused on that finish line that they're just worried about getting through the show and potentially winning. No one thinks about what goes on behind the scenes. It's like when you're watching a movie, you know that the production team put it together, but you don't know what they did prepping up to the movie itself.
You know what's funny? You said that because it made me kind of giggle today. We put up a post about the 80s. Do you love the 80s?
Right.
Now, even though the video that you see is 1990, the reason I asked about the 80s is because I didn't just go, wasn't just 1989 and then 1990 I was in shape. It was the 10 years before that I was training and allowed me to be filmed on that day, to look the way I did and be in the magazines and be on the covers. So it was still the post about the 80s, but it's the day of. No. And today is all about what can happen right now.
Exactly.
I want to get in shape right now. When I'm telling you guys that you need to do the setup, you need to do the work before you start, like he said, the race, the run.
Exactly.
So we know so many people that are worried about the finish line. The gun
Of
club.
course.
It's all the process of setting yourself up to win. I'm going to get in the best shape of my entire life. And it doesn't matter what I'm doing now. It mattered on what I did during the lockdown for the last 9 months. Why that allows me to get in the very best shape of my life is because I took in the high calories, because I took the carbohydrates. I didn't run away from that food. I got off of the cardio. I trained 4 days a week, sometimes 5 days a week. I did less work, still kept the muscle, put on the muscle that I lost from dieting, and got the rest. And that's what Serge and Jeff are doing. And you guys keep talking about how strong these guys are getting. I saw some posts about that. Talk about, yeah.
Most people throughout the quarantine saw this as like a handicap, and they're like, well, I can't make any progress here because now this is going on, so maybe I should just keep to myself and not do anything. So when the quarantine's over, they're going to be in the same position they were before this quarantine.
Maybe worse.
Maybe even worse. Rather than looking at this as you have more time throughout the day now that most people work at home to put in all that energy into something that you want to progress in.
Yeah, and I agree with what Serge is laying down here, and he is laying this pipe down. You got to get on the nutrition. You got to get on it now. You've got to start getting that body working. If your metabolism is not functioning well, you're not going to be able to change. That's why so many people that are overweight go, I've cut my calories. That's fine. Your body's not going to function off of that either. And your metabolism is functioning so slow. So let's get the diets going. Let's make sure that we're doing this. And let's rock and roll.
That's right.
The new supplements are coming out January 1st. We have the Way of the Titan. That is the protein. We have the Night Burn or Titan Dreams, which is a fat burner while you sleep. We have the Immune Product. For anybody that's worried about their immune system, and that's going to give you a boost to the immune system. And we have Titan Strength Gains for you guys that want to get savagely strong like this guy.
Definitely.
And that guy over there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. Am I out angling you like for days?
No, you see, I'm wearing black, so black makes me look a little smaller. So it's the angle.
Who am I right now?
Oh, whoa.
Is that Craig?
Dude, Craig Elias?
Yeah, it's Craig.
Oh my God.
So how do you work out your legs with bad hips? Great question. So I've talked about the Hatfield squats. So if you got bad hamstring, bad hips, my recommendation is go over to my YouTube, and we talked about this, and we did this with a safety bar, Hatfield squats. It's going to make you loosen up and open up the hips and take pressure off those hips so you can still get range of motion. Force blood into that hip area, which you don't get a lot of blood into, and that's why it takes a lot of time to heal, and allow you to train legs. So that's the best thing. And then secondary is, even with bad hips, you got to be training those hamstrings. Sit on the hamstrings. And trust me, everybody here probably trains their quads harder than your hamstrings. And I'll tell you right now, if you train your hamstrings like a savage, you're going to have a great squat. You're going to have a great deadlift. The hamstring needs to be so strong and needs to outpower the quad. The quad is secondary to the hamstring. And you'll learn this as you get older, but it's a much more important muscle than the quad itself. All you tall guys, you can build legs.
Very
You
important.
can build legs. Right, Mo?
That's right.
Yeah. I was just talking about you and how freaky you look. I want to make sure that everybody who is doing the 30-day blitz is crushing it and staying on point with the nutrition. I know it is tough. I know the nutrition is really, really tough for this 30-day blitz, but we are staying true to it and still kicking ass. My team is doing great with this. Mona, which is surprising to me, is now finishing up the second week. Looks, can you say it? You want to say it?
Dick skin.
Ridiculous.
Sorry.
Close though. To what he said, Jeffrey said. She's looking ridiculous 2 weeks in. So I'm so curious to see what she finishes like at the 4 week, and she's going to do a dry out with us. So
He's walking the dogs right now.
no, Patrick's walking the dogs.
Patrick is.
Yeah. Sorry, that's why I got ready there. So I am excited. I'm happy with how things are looking. But the one main thing I want to talk to you guys about is that we have our big check-ins. Now you got to put down the information. Don't worry, you got the password, because the password comes from when you sign up for the nutrition or the Titan workouts. And again, that's just, you can just log onto my site and you can get that, and that's MikeO'Hearn.com. So we got the big check-ins. I just don't want you guys to miss this check-in, because you're not going to get another check-in until the beginning of the month.
That's right.
So we only do it twice. So you got to pay attention to when we're doing this. You got to follow the rules in the Titan crew and stay on point. You guys think this is big? Wait until you see this.
Look at this
Get some
gangster. Look
This-
at this little
What is going
gangster.
on? Hello.
We just came from the park.
Icon Pop Chips. You got it? Get that protein. So I'm going to answer this question over here. I thought it was a great question. Why should beginners not go 100%? The main reason why beginners shouldn't go 100% is most likely their nutrition is not on point, and they don't know how to gauge recovery. So if you're beginning, you think that you can just continue to train and train and train. You can only train at 100% if you're recovering at 100%. So that was one of the biggest things. It's a learning process. And so I know beginners that make better progress training at 70% and making sure they recover to the next workout and they're on the nutrition. Trust me, that's one of the biggest mistakes I made as a youngster, training to that point where I could just beat everybody up and I could outlast you.
So is that answer for beginners only?
Oh, that's a good point. It's a good point. He says beginner. The part about not knowing what recovery is a beginner statement.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do say that. But no, the concept of why you wouldn't train at 100% for even guys in the, that's been training. And again, I think somebody that's been training to 10, 15 years, if there's not a huge amount of an improvement, is still a beginner. But one of the things I would say is this: I hear guys all the time say to me, "Hey, Mike, I've been training as long as you. I've been training 40 years." And then my response is, okay, but then why isn't there any development? So you can tell me that you've been doing this.
Because they're getting a pump. They're going.
Well, yeah, but you can train for 40 years and there's nothing there. And then I know other guys that have trained a year and they look incredible. So the one guy's listening to the body where the other guy's just going through the motions. Again, this is not easy in a sense, and it's unfortunate. I think you all believe, which is a mislead, if I go into the gym and train harder than anybody, I'll be the best. Is that true? I think everybody believes that's the truth. It's not. It's the person that is the most consistent outside of the gym and is recovering and then going back in and stimulating the muscle. Oh my gosh. So that's just one of the big things I would just say to you guys is, if you want to train at 100%, don't let me stop you. Go do it. Go train at 100% and come back in a year. All right? And then watch some of the, wow. Then go watch some of the people in the Titan crew that I have train at 70%. You guys got to see this.
It's working.
Some of the guys in the Titan crew that train at 70%, and what they do, they get so much better. So that's kind of one of the things I would like you guys to pay attention to and watch. You want to come sit next to me with these arms like that?
Jeez.
What's up,
Don't
guys?
make me take my sweatshirt off. Take it off.
Ooh, that might be the cover right there.
It might be.
All right. A good way to recover is get proper sleep. Make sure your nutrition is on point.
My man's dropping that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you open one? He's double fisting this
I
stuff.
mean, yes, I can. I just.
Um,
I gotta.
Those are all great recoveries. Making sure the food's in on point. Make sure that you're taking your glutamine, your branch chain, your EAAs, you got your cortisol blocker maybe in there, your estrogen blocker, your pump product, anything like that. It's going to help you kind of grow, recover, and get bigger.
Yes.
Somebody here said that they eat great all day and then they come home and wreck it. That makes no sense to me. Why would you put that
Why
effort
would you
in?
want to do that?
Just eat bad all the time.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Or eat healthy.
That's what. That's what
At
happens.
some point, I think a lot of you don't realize that discipline or self-control comes into play on this. I think Stan said it the best. We did a seminar, we're on stage and we're talking. How do you take care of hunger issues? I'm eating right, I'm doing all this. And he goes, what? At some point, you got to have self-discipline. But so, unfortunately, at some point, and that's why not a lot of people do it. And that's why a lot of people don't get to that level of greatness, or create the physique that they want, or create the physique they want and keep it. That's another thing. At some point, it's just that's got to come into play, guys. Do you want this?
It's all. This is all mental, guys. If you're not mentally
Yeah.
strong enough, that you won't be able to do anything. That's how I look at it. So,
The main thing is when you come home from work and you were just, and again, it's honestly, it's the study of the rats that I was talking about the other day. But at work, you're distracted by your job, so you eat right. Then you come home and you're not distracted by anything, so you just go forget it. I just want to eat bad. Come home and focus on what you need to do to get ready for the next day. Prep your meals. Eat
First
a
of
healthy
all,
meal.
yeah. But why do you even have bad food in your house if you know that you can help yourself? Clean the house,
Whoa.
man.
I didn't even think of
Get
that.
somebody there.
Yeah, why
Bring
is-
a big.
why is there
garbage
bad food in the
bag,
house?
yeah, and just clean the house. And when you get home and you want to eat bad, guess what? It's nothing to eat. So